Respected Thiru Karthikeyan sir and respected Dr. Patnaik sir, Honorable Secretary of the Government of India, Dr. Subhachandran, ladies and gentlemen. I am really happy that you all have come on the topic. I know many of you will be friends of Karthikeyan sir and everybody. It's an irony of time that there was a time in Tirukural, 2000 years back, Uludundu Valvare Valvar, Mattallam Toludundu Pinsalbavar. That's a time, a contrast of time. Agriculture was number one profession. Over a period of time, now we are talking today, farmers' distress, when we have self-reliance in agriculture, food production. I don't know how many of you there, I was in high school in 1966, and when Lal Bahadur Shastri became the Prime Minister around that time, 65, 66, that I used to fight with my mother that I'll forego my evening dinner. And a high school child going all the way to 6 miles up and down, 12 miles, that's the kind of situation. Today we are absolutely fantastic. We are producing 270 odd tons and 360 tons of 270 food grains, 360 horticulture produce, the kind of thing if you see in the market. You see how many people are having livelihood basically selling fruits and vegetables. It's an amazing change. I came in 1978, 40 years back to Delhi. I used to go to back of my institute to get some bananas in the evening. But today, it's affluent. The point is that thanks to, of course, we read the kind of message from Professor Swaminathan, the doyen, the father of Green Revolution. That's the thing happened. I come from the same institute, worked there for 31 years on that institute. Incidentally, I contributed to the Neem coated urea, and last month I submitted the report to the DSC of it. Then we developed the Neem coated urea from 95 onwards, with the Modi government has taken it to a different level to 100%. So the situation is that farmers' distress, why it's happening? The reasons are, basically speaking, I think the modern lifestyle, and I used to have about 4 or 5 days holidays in my school time because I have to cross over a kind of flood kind of situation. There's no road actually speaking. So the tanks were all full. For 3 years we don't have to worry about the cattle. That's the kind of situation. I think somewhere down the line when we construct the roads, we forgot the ecology, the landscape part of it. Now, most of them, we are not able to capture the rainwater adequately. That time, I remember that in my village, one male person from the place has to come, and we had 2 tanks. The one was little higher level, so we have to raise it, make a bund out of it, and the water will go. So that's the kind of situation we used to store the water storage. If you look at the ancient agriculture, if you just look at some of the very important areas we go. I came with some slides actually, I'm not using it. I didn't know, I just said, but anyway, I'll speak some of the issues there. The kind of thing, even now, whenever I go to the most religious places I see around, and the soil fertility is still high, which means that time we knew how to preserve soil fertility. Even now, please go on, whenever you go to some of these places where the hills are there and the temples are there, if you go around, and you can see the soil fertility is much higher than cultivated tiles. Water storage was very good wherever you go is to point. I think what I want to say is there are many factors which have contributed. As Professor Swaminathan used to say, is it green revolution or greed revolution? That's the issue now. Another thing we should not forget is the sustainability of the system, ecology and the environment part of it. I, for one, do not really subscribe that we should burn the crop residues. It's actually ultimately it comes to this, what happens is that what are you doing is just you are harvesting carbon and burning it off thing. So that's, I think, I've written to Indian Express and other thing, comments part of it, say this has to be, first they should stop and think about it kind of thing. But I am happy Professor Dr. Patnaik Saab is there. It's first time, I think, in the last 20 years or so. We have been talking about, of course, Swaminathan Commission came in 2007, but quantifying to say doubling of the farmers. Whatever says is a flagship program, I must congratulate Dr. Patnaik Saab for taking it a quantifying way. I think it's a really flagship program. Look at the kind of information that has been generated, how they could bring in lot of institutions together, NABARD and every institution's insurance, as Mr. Karthikeyan was telling, many institutions have come forward. This is the first time. I think it's becoming a movement, and I hope this continues. This it has to, because solution will come. Solution will come, may not be all the way, but there. I know my friend Dr. Rameshan could not come, but he has made labored hard to come out with this document. Please go through this 40-page document from the Niti Aayog. He has really shown the roadmap, how we can really achieve by 2022 that 80% of the income of the farmers can be doubled. Please read the one. He has put a lot of efforts, really must say, to say that, because there were a lot of critics from his own disciplines, so he need to work hard for that. My question is, sir, Patnaik sir, is, you know better, you have been from state, how we have to sensitize the state's part of it. And when you have so many districts, really that from the World Bank project, we had the National Agriculture Innovation Project, or NABARD, NARP we had, National Agriculture Research Project. Professor Maheshwari is also here. A lot of people who have been very much there. Now, I have written once, just like if agriculture is an industry, sick industry is supposed to be closed. Some of the districts which are perennially not getting rainfall, we need to work out it. Don't consider them as farmers. They let them have the subsistence farming. We'll have to come to a stage, say, no, that's okay. We'll not count it that. They should be treated separately. Now, we are talking about distress. There are two things. One is that doubling the farmer's income is the major flagship program. What happens to that? The Rameshan data, I just brought it and I am unable to show, is that the farmers with the below poverty line, we have 45% from Jharkhand, and so many states here shown, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, so on. So, sir, what is really required is we have to combine the poverty eradication program with the DFI. Let's not bother. I know your ministry always loaded. I used to always argue with Dr. Manglarai about it. Why we should always have 4%, we are not asking Ministry of Health to have something about the family planning. I'm happy that you could go for farmers' welfare as a thing. So it should be combined. What will happen if a farmer is earning only a dryland agriculture, only 20,000 rupees, 15,000 rupees he gets, but doubling is not going to help. It's very fine. I am not for, I must say, wonderful. Doubling of DFI is a wonderful thing in 75 years of independence is very good. But along with that, we need to have a synergy with poverty eradication program. We need to insulate how the farmer can do that part of it. Being part health, we're called health insurance, their children education, and so on. That is what I felt, that unless we look at it, we need to go by database creation is very easy under ICT. We need to look at district levels, and we have got a lot of KVKs, fortunately. The KVKs can be sensitized. You have got to know Atma, and so much of the institutions are there. Unless we take it district level approach and viability is tested. If it is not viable, we need to look at beyond the agriculture. It's all fine to talk, because to have that level, because everybody cannot go for poultry and piggery. Those vegetarian people, don't expect them to go for poultry and piggery and so on. It's all easy to say, you integrated farming system. So these are some of the issues I just wanted to say. And whenever for example, we need a large investment. A lot of investment goes under subsidy actually. That's the real issue that is coming. The investment that has to go for infrastructure development, cold chain, so on, many things to be done. Unfortunately, the government of India, anytime, it doesn't matter which is the government. We don't criticize the government. We know that we have been in the government. We know it. Because so much going into food subsidy, fertilizer subsidy, and so on. That subsidy component cannot be reduced, I agree. That's why the Neem-coated urea is the one we came out, and so that something can be done about the nitrogen use efficiency. So point is that crowdsourcing of resources, one approach. We all go to temple, donate so much of money. Can we have some sort of foundation like Karthikeyan Sir Foundation and say, in my birthday, my wedding anniversary, my children's birthday, and so on, we donate to those things like that. Bill Gates should come to the country and serve this country. He has come here, but we need to look at it. So I know Tirupati and other temples, lot of money is going there. I think we need to educate our people the benefit of crowdsourcing, and because we need to have something like 6 lakh crores kind of investment, rough investigation, when I'm sure Dr. Patnaik will add more about it. These are many issues. I hope when time is there, sir, you tell me, otherwise I'll stop. I'll just take a few issues. Give me just a second, I just wanted to, yeah. You can do it in the interaction later. I'll just take some ideas that, the point I think we'll have to understand, maybe people coming from different walk of life, the kind of number of farmers have, don't compare it with the USA or Europe. The kind of 26 crore farmers we have is not easy to handle with them. That's one issue. And the land holding, states like southern states very religiously went for the land reforms. With respect today, we don't have land holding so much low. Those states which did not do Bhutan movement and things like that. So today possibly we're paying the price for that. Because of the land holding so low, we are not able to do that. That's the reason the farmer producer companies that's coming big way. I must congratulate the ministry for really picking up the farmer producer companies big way, and the national commodities exchange, so on, the national e-market, the concept that is coming. Another point, Sir Patnaik, sir, I'd like to really appeal to you is that I think somehow we created ministries, fine. It's time that we say agriculture plus the value-added products. And that should be combined for the sake of looking at how much the agriculture is giving. Simply saying primary agriculture is giving about 15 to 17% of GDP is not the right thing to do. I think it's very injustice. What about cotton? What about leather? What about the spices, value added, the coffee, tea, and so on? The exports, which goes to 10% of the exports, total exports from agriculture. So I think let's look at the farmer, day in and day out produces, and so many things, jute, cotton, spices, condiments, fruits, value added, kind of thing, we get the concentrates. I think so we need to pool together and say agriculture is the one thing, because well known that if agriculture does well, 1% of the GDP increases through agriculture, the poverty comes down drastically. It's a well known World Bank report. That's one part we'll have to look at it different way. And now I think I also saw Professor Rameshan's report. He has looked at it at a very, very macro level. I think, as I said, that state to state, we will have to look at it. Largest state, the population which is like UP or Madhya Pradesh, sure, Madhya Pradesh is doing well in agriculture, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, these are states which having very high percentage of farmers below poverty line. I think we should target. I know that Ashok Gulati's report I saw, sir, and for the UP they have come, I am sure the new government under Yogi Adityanath will take care of that. So state-wise we need to look at it. Anything is a good program will be successful. DFI is a very good program, very flagship program. We need to take it for. Let's not bother which government has come out with it. This is something excellent. Something for the farmer's sake, talking doubling of farmers' income is very important. Let's not be political color to, let's not give the political color to that. So wonderful, like Swaminathan has been talking about it. So another thing, so combine it with the poverty eradication. Let's not, the tiller of the land should not go hungry. That's very important. And how his family can be taken care of. Now talking about water, Karthikeyan sir mentioned about the water, and we all know. I know from Tamil Nadu. Session on 2nd August. Yeah, so the water issue, the fresh water available is so low now, kind of thing. The water, that's why the reason our Honorable Prime Minister was right, per drop more crop. He talked about it. I think it's going to be compulsory, like in Gujarat, micro irrigation has to become the way of life. And when I talked about sustainability of system, going for, so much as sugarcane cultivation in that region in Maharashtra, I think it's not acceptable. These are the certain issues we'll have to say this cannot be done. When we are all very proud, say 24,000 crores of rupees of basmati and other rice we're exporting, I was telling very in joking way, you are exporting basically our water, not the rice part of it. The hidden one, that part we need to look at it. Because that's the reason we are suffering, because water is not available. And of course, reducing the cost of inputs, that issue is that is really coming out of it. And with so many companies around, with the ICT around the world, I think I'm sure the cost of inputs will come down, and the mechanization is coming a big way. Sir, under that NICRA project, sir, we said that every KVK can have the this one, tractors and other things, implements, so that and the farmers can take it, hire it, and go. And some of the things like Raichur, they started with that. So we said that even under Niche Area of Excellence, we gave programs like that.
Okay, thank you.
Well, just only 2 lines, sir, I'll just take. Now you talked about it, so it's very pleasing. I have just points to ponder. First of all, is surplus produce. I think we are he talked at length about it, that, cattle grazing that's the part we need to look at. We are all talking very fine. Where is the linkage with market linkage? I know we keep reading potato in Gujarat, everywhere. The surplus produce one issue. The EXIM management. Suddenly the government commerce ministry says you should not export it. So that issue I think we need to look at. These are some of the issues for a larger audience, and I think these some of the issues fine. I think we can take it in the discussion part of it. Thank you very much. I must say at the DF, this doubling of farmers' income is much wanted, much important thing. It will be a boon for our own country. Thank you very much.